So I want to remind everyone of something that Donald Trump said in the year 2020. It was a pretty hectic year. A lot of things happened in 2020. And one of the things that hasn't been talked about nearly enough is when Donald Trump ordered an assassination on an American citizen and then bragged about it on live television. So let's watch this little clip. And the New York Times released a video of their investigation into what happened with the shooting of Michael Reinoehl. But so here's this little 20-second snippet of Donald Trump just being obnoxious.
2.5 days went by, and I put out, when are you going to go get him? And the U.S. Marshals went in to get him. And in a short period of time, they ended in a gunfight. This guy was a violent criminal.
A lot of them out there.
And the U.S. Marshals killed him. And I will tell you something, that's the way it has to be. There has to be retribution when you have crime like this.
So what was the crime? Now this is way more interesting in context post-Capitol siege. But okay, so what was the crime? Shooting and killing a Trump supporter, right? Now, is that a crime? I mean, I don't know. Like, was the Trump supporter attacking him? It certainly seemed like that in the video that was released. Because when this occurred, I made a video. Not to make the story about me, of course, but I made a video of like going through all the little snippets of when that dude was shot and killed by Michael Reinoehl. And it looks like he was instigating. Now, does that mean that shooting and killing him is self-defense? Maybe. I don't know. So, like, there's no way to investigate that. That's the thing, is if you think it might be self-defense, what you do is you wait for an investigation and you determine what the cause and reasoning behind the shooting was. All right, great. So what Donald Trump decided to do was put out a hit, right? Put out a hit on this guy, and the U.S. Marshals went in and assassinated an American citizen, which is unconstitutional. So the New York Times decided to put out an investigatory report, and I'm going to watch this little video that they've got here. It's put on HD. We're going to watch the New York Times in HD, folks. So this is what they've got. I'll read it later as well if the video isn't good enough and has, needs me to read it. But I watched like half of this. It seems pretty cool. Let's kick it on. But again, I want to remind everyone, this guy is accused of killing one person. One person. Now, I want to remind everyone about the mass shootings that we have had recently. There's been some mass shootings where people literally will drive to a building, kill everyone, drive like 10 miles away. We're talking about Atlanta here, I think, in Georgia. All right? And then kill people at another building, right? And then just get arrested. Not shot and murdered on the spot. No. They just get, hands cuffed. They're in custody now. Right? So it's like, what? Like, what? Okay. This guy, on the other hand, kills one person, debatably in self-defense, says it was in self-defense, is assassinated because the president said so. So I want to just put that that really makes you think.
Michael Reinoehl was on the run. He had been named as the suspect in the killing of a right-wing demonstrator in Portland and had fled to Lacey, Washington, a suburb of Olympia. On September 3rd, he is staying here in an apartment authorities say belongs to Nate Dingus.
Now I just want to say, is fleeing the scene of a crime a smart idea? No! But, given the fact that this guy was gunned down in the street like an animal, right, given the fact that they just went in and tried to assassinate him, can you blame him for running away? Like, seriously. Like, seriously, can you blame this motherfucker for trying to lay low? Like, this guy, probably knew that, oh shit, I just did something that's, probably gonna end either with me in prison for the rest of my life or shot in the street. Probably not even necessarily running from the police, but just running from Trump-supporting militias, which are really, really popular and have a lot of numbers in the Oregon-Washington area in the Northwest, right? So it's like, this guy was scared for his life. And again, he was assassinated not by a pro-Trump militia, not by white supremacists, not by neo-Nazis, just kidding. All of the above. I'm talking about the U.S. Marshals. I'm talking about the police, right? So I just want to be very clear here. Is running from the scene of a crime a good idea? Probably not in most contexts, but in this context, the guy knew that, hey, maybe I'll be assassinated for this, and he was right, so he got the fuck out of there.
It's just after 6:50 p.m., and Reinoehl begins the 100-foot walk to his Volkswagen station wagon. U.S. Marshals, alongside officers from local agencies, are parked in several nearby vehicles, including here, watching his movements. Reinoehl is only carrying a cell phone and a bag in his hands, says Dingus, who is watching from the parking lot. As Reinoehl reaches his car, 2 unmarked vehicles speed toward him. The SUVs stop a foot from the Volkswagen's bumper, boxing it in. 4 officers jump out. The officers claim that they shout, "Stop, police." But Dingus and 4 other eyewitnesses, who are standing here, here, and here, say they don't hear the officers shout any warnings or commands before firing.
So I covered this a little bit. Is the volume too loud? Is it too low? When you say volume in the chat room, I have no idea what that means. That you might as well say like doorknob. It doesn't have any. there's no meaning there. But anyway, I covered some stories in the weeks afterward. Too low? All right, I'll bump it up. Thank you. I covered some stories after this happened that said that there were eyewitnesses that basically said whatever the cops were saying, not real. Fake news, folks. The cops are all lying to you. Now, again, we know that the cops are legally not allowed to lie, right? They're not just allowed to lie. They are compelled to lie. They are compelled. They are obligated to lie. So not only... right? It's not like it's like an option. It's not like it's a tool in the toolbox, right? It's not like it's like, oh, well, I could lie. I could, do this. I could do that. I could do a cartwheel. No. It's I will lie. And then after I lie, I will do literally everything else because that's what they are doing. They are obligated to lie at all costs. So I'm just saying. So hopefully the volume's a little bit better, but let's backtrack.
Standing here, here, and here. Say they don't hear the officers shout any warnings or commands before firing. In the statements they've provided to investigators, officers have given differing accounts. One officer claims he sees Reinoehl, inside the car, raise something that looks like a weapon. But 2 other officers say only that Reinoehl makes, quote, furtive movements toward the center console. They open fire, and bullets pierce the driver's side of the Volkswagen's windshield, hitting Reinoehl, according to investigators. The bullet casings are visible here, just a few feet away. A 911 dispatch conveys the chaos of the scene.
People are running all over, saying they heard about 5 or 6 shots. There are a possible 10 subjects outside right now. Just for information, this may be the U.S. Marshals.
Reinoehl is wounded, but he manages to flee the Volkswagen.
I love that dispatch, by the way. This might be the U.S. Marshals. I don't know. Okay, so a police officer is calling, right, to let everyone know that there's a shooting and there's a bunch of people. Yeah, it could be the U.S. Marshals. They didn't tell us. We don't know what's going on, but it could be. I mean, I don't know. What kind of communication? And then these motherfuckers can't even get their story straight. They both tell, competing versions of what happened. It's like, oops. Right? It's but seriously. And again, did anything happen to these cops? Do we know who these cops' names even are? Maybe we do. I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's revealed later. I didn't keep up with this after the following 2 months, but the idea that they just didn't coordinate at all is just and they got away with it. These are all people no one cares. No one cares. Literally, again, I want to remind everyone, Donald Trump issued an execution and assassination of an American citizen on American soil and bragged about it on live television. What? And no one cares. I just that to me is bizarre. It really was bizarre how this story just disappeared. It dis-fucking-peared. Because when this happened, I was like, holy shit, man. We are in some really scary times here. And then no one cared. So I'm glad that the New York Times released this investigation video because it's important that this stuff is documented.
Outside right now. Just for information, this may be the U.S. Marshals.
It may be. I mean, we don't know.
He's wounded.
Could be.
But he manages to flee the Volkswagen. Officers continue to fire. Reinoehl steps from behind a truck and into the street. One officer claims that Reinoehl raises a handgun, but other officers say that Reinoehl only reaches toward his pocket. A 5th officer arrives here.
Again, alright, so your job. What is your job, right? You're in the fucking, car as you're driving. Alright, your mission is to assassinate this motherfucker so the Fuhrer, so Donald Trump can like us and talk about us on TV tomorrow? Right, so that's your job. And then these motherfuckers don't even get, they don't even do it right. They just, Oh, yeah, he might have had a gun. I didn't see a gun, but I saw it. But he totally had a gun, bro. No, he didn't have a gun. I don't know, like...
This area and opens fire along with the others. Reinoehl falls. None of the eyewitnesses on the street has a clear view. According to investigators, 4 officers fired their weapons around 30 times. Investigators
30
won't
times.
say how many times Reinoehl was shot. But the Times visited the scene and reviewed dozens of videos and images. We found that at least 8 bullets hit civilian property. Some of them flew right by 8...
So again, remember when Breonna Taylor was shot and killed? And then remember what the trial that occurred, right? Oh yeah. So the guy who killed Breonna Taylor, he's all good. He's fine. He's a great guy. He's great. He's really good at darts. He's a wonderful guy. He's an awesome father. I love that guy. I love him. In fact, we're gonna go hang out tomorrow. I love that guy. Right, but some other guy got charged with, quote, like, wanton endangerment because he tried to shoot Breonna Taylor and was such an idiot that he missed and shot into someone else's apartment. Remember that? Are any of the cops here being charged? Okay, so we've established, right, you can just kill people for no reason if you're police. But if you accidentally shoot someone else, right, if you shoot someone else on accident, well, then that's a problem. Then we can charge you. Are any of these people being charged? Do I even know, like, what? Who are they? I'm so confused. Like, okay, so you can shoot people's houses. You can shoot, like, several people's houses. That's great. That's wonderful. As long as you successfully assassinate the American citizen on American soil. What?
But the Times visited the scene and reviewed dozens of videos and images. We found that at least 8 bullets hit civilian property. Some of them flew right by 8-year-old Silas Lewis, who'd been riding his bike in the road. Others blew out the windows of a nearby car. At least 5 bullets hit the wall and the fence of Angel Romero's home.
So are these cops in jail for wanton endangerment, or is that only a law in Kentucky? Like, what's going on here? Like, you almost shoot an 8-year-old. Oh, whoops, I didn't know the 8-year-old was there. How about instead of shooting a motherfucker 30 times, instead of doing that, maybe you just try to apprehend them? Maybe? I'm so confused at this. Like, this is bizarre.
One went through his dining room, nearly hitting his brother. Officers say they find a .380 caliber handgun in the right front pocket of Reinoehl's pants, his hand on or near the weapon. Though police never contend that Reinoehl fired a weapon, inside the Volkswagen, they find a bullet casing matching that handgun's caliber. Investigators say it could be up to 3 months before crime lab results can prove whether that bullet casing actually matches Reinoehl's gun. But they also say there is no other evidence that Reinoehl fired at the officers.
Okay, so, now, the casing... Okay, so this guy's got a gun, and there is a casing for that gun found in his car. Now, I'm not an expert here, right? But, like, is it possible that maybe, like, that casing was, there for some other context or purpose? It's possible, right? Is it possible he shot at the cops? Maybe. But does that make the cops shooting at an 8-year-old across the street acceptable under any circumstance? No! Like, the cops, like, these are not even just cops. These are, like, U.S. Marshals, whatever the fuck that means, right? This is some, like, elite hit squad, like an assassination. Like, this is a private paramilitary assassination squadron. That's what that is. Right? And you're telling me, right, okay, they're elite, trained, like, militiamen, right? Like, Michael Reinoehl's just some dude with a gun. You're telling me, like, 5 elite fucking hyper-militarized, like, dumb motherfuckers, right? You're telling me those motherfuckers can't get a good shot on them? The people that dedicate their entire fucking lives to shooting people and killing them with efficiency? Those people accidentally almost kill an 8-year-old? And what if they did kill an 8-year-old? Like, maybe then this story wouldn't have disappeared from the fucking news cycle in 2 days. But, Jesus Christ, man.
There is no other evidence that Reinoehl fired at the officers.
Anyway, so that's the video. You can read the article version if you want. I think the video did a good job. But again, I just like the idea that this just disappeared from public consciousness to me is just absolutely bizarre. Like, there's like a through line here of like Donald Trump successfully assassinates the top general for Iran, right? And then gets away with it. He just gets away with it. It's just like, all right, cool. And he probably learned that He probably learned that from the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBS, just assassinating a journalist and just getting away with it. All right, cool. All right, no one cares anymore about Khashoggi. All right, awesome, perfect. And then Donald Trump was like, damn, that's a good idea. Let me try that. And then he tries to assassinate fucking generals, right? Almost calls World War III. And he's like, oh, I got away with it? And nothing happened? There was no impeachment hoax? You know, they didn't try to, like, fucking, you know, like, okay, awesome. I'll just do this with American citizens. Pop, pop, brags about it on television. Again, I want to replay this clip here. This is so, like, he literally bragged about it on television the next day in a big exclusive Fox News interview. He's like, yeah, I did it. Hell yeah. And then everyone's like, oh, what did he do? I don't know. I forgot.
5 days went by, and I put out, when are you going to go get him? And the U.S. Marshals went in to get him. And in a short period of time, they ended in a gunfight. This guy was a violent criminal.
A lot of them out there.
And the U.S. Marshals killed him. And I will tell you something. That's the way it has to be. There has to be retribution.
It's crazy. Like, Donald Trump is just a fucking crazy person. He's a crazy person. The cops are crazy. The U.S. Marshals are crazy. Now, again, I say this all the time. But these motherfuckers all need to be sent to prison rest of their lives. I'm serious about that. Like, if you decide to, in this current climate, in this time in the United States of America, become a cop, and when you become a cop and you actually go out and start shooting people and you have like a body count, at that point, as far as I'm concerned, there is no rehabilitation. When you start killing people, like when you start like actually ending people's lives en masse, sorry, buddy. As far as I'm concerned, let's throw you in the middle of the fucking Pacific Ocean. You are useless to society. But I'll compromise at jail. And so, like, and that's the thing. And I really don't understand how this disappeared from the public consciousness. Like, he just assassinated an American citizen, bragged about it on TV. There was no impeachment. Nothing happened. Like, I get it. Like, and again, this is a whole different thing with the Capitol siege. Like, they impeached him over the Capitol siege. Great. There is more evidence that he directed an assassination on an American citizen than there is that he incited a riot at the Capitol. And I'm just saying, and I think he did both. For reference, I think he did both. But the way that they described the way he incited the riot, there is literally more evidence in that same, like, what they were going for, that he ordered an assassination of this American citizen. He literally admits to it. Like, this is the smoking gun. This tape here, this 20-second video is the smoking gun. He admits to it live on national fucking television. He just said, yep, I did this. They did it. I'm proud, and I love it. And it's, like, I just like, what? Like, again, on national television, it's the smoking gun. This would be like on January 7th. He comes on TV. Yeah, I told everyone to storm the Capitol, and you know what? It's the way it has to be. It's the same thing. It's the same shit. If you like look at these in any sort of analogous like situation, it's the same shit. How is he not impeached for this? How is he like what the fuck? What the fuck, man? I'm serious. It is some crazy shit. It is getting a little hot in here. I have to turn the air conditioner on, and so anyway, And I'm all hot and bothered by the orange man. Oh my god. But again, I really, like, this is like, I think that this is like one of the biggest possible events of the Trump administration. Personally, as far as I'm concerned, and the idea that no one talks about it anymore, and maybe people will start talking about it again. Maybe this New York Times article is gonna, you know, get more, talking about this, but this was the like quintessential part of the Trump administration in regards to the absolute state of this country. The absolute fucking state of this country. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus. And again, these are the same people. The same people that support the killing of Michael Reinoehl. Oh, I mean, you know, someone was shot at a traffic stop last night. I don't know. Maybe it was a good idea. Well, let's wait for the investigation. Right, those same people that are like, Donald Trump became president. He's powerful. He's strong. Are the same people who are like, I don't know, the cops might have been wrong, but, you know, they're probably right, so let's wait for the investigation. And then, like, you know, in the case of George Floyd, the trial happens, and then they just like, oh no, even though everything I'm saying has been debunked, he totally had fentanyl in his system, right? Yeah, he died of a fentanyl. I mean, everything I'm saying has been debunked for literally years, but hey, whatever. He might have overdosed. Who knows, bro? We can't tell. by the way, Donald Trump ordering police to kill an American citizen, that's awesome. That's great. I really don't understand. And these are the same people that cry and whine when the FBI sends them to jail over the Capitol riot. Like, I went to the Capitol for my president and the cops arrested me. Boo-hoo, I hate the cops. They're cucks. They're like, what? Like, these people are crazy, man. You have to understand the brain of a fascist is not logical. You cannot use logic on the brain of a fascist because it won't work. If the fascist says someone I disagree with is dead, awesome. Someone I agree with is in trouble, not awesome. It doesn't matter. There is no logical consistency. There is no through line other than, is it someone I agree with? If so, I don't care. Is it someone I disagree with? If so, that's awesome. Awesome. We got to do it again. And that's why these people that went to Portland that day that involved, that got shot by Michael Reinoehl, the people that went to Portland that day were using bear mace and pepper balls and just shooting at random fucking American civilians. A lot of people had nothing to do with politics. They were apolitical, just walking to work or something, and they get shot in the head with a pepper ball by a Trump supporter. So can you really blame Michael Reinoehl for shooting like Jay Bishop? Not really. Not really. I'm just saying, like, if you have that context, these people running through the streets shooting fucking, like, you know, paint guns and pepper balls at random people, bear macing random civilians, if you have evidence of that and some guy is walking toward you with a fucking, like pepper spray in his hand, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. And I guess we'll never know because there is no investigation. So that's that segment.